Welcome back, folks, to another video, and in this lesson we'll be taking a deep look at the WordPress interface. So let's get right into it. In this video we'll take an overall look at the WordPress interface so that you can get a brief understanding of the layout and learn what each part of the interface does. Then moving forward, we're going to look at each WordPress section one by one and look at them in greater detail. When you first log into WordPress, you're immediately brought to the WordPress dashboard. Now, the interface is broken up into three main areas. First, we have the top toolbar here. Second, we have the working area here. And third is the left-hand menu here. Let's talk about each area one by one, starting with the top toolbar. The top toolbar, or sometimes referred to as the admin menu, is designed for convenience use when using WordPress. It provides shortcuts to actions that can also be found on the left-hand menu. Shortcuts like adding a new post, adding new media, new page, a new user, and we can see in the left-hand side, we can do the same thing. Add a new post, new media, new page, and new user. And it's also used to navigate between the front and back-end side of your website. Front end means the front-facing part of your website, where a user can see and interact with the web page. So that's the visible side of your website. This is what the users will see, okay? This is the front end side of your website. The back end part of your website is the part that's only accessible to admins, where they have permissions that website visitors won't have. Admins have the ability to rearrange the layout, add new content, or install plugins. So let's take a deeper look at how the toolbar works, starting from left to right, remembering that right now we're in the back end side of our website. So first is the WordPress logo. By hovering over the WordPress logo on the top left-hand side of the screen, we can see all the options that are available to us. Now, when you click on an option, when you click on the logo here, for example, you're always going to go to the first item that you see in the pop-up menu. So for example, in the dashboard here, if I just click, I will automatically go to home. In the posts, if I just click on posts, I automatically go to all posts, okay? So for example, here, we can see I'm in home. That's been highlighted by white. If I click posts, we can see that all posts are clicked here. Media will go immediately to library and does that here. Same thing here in the logo. If I click this here, I'll go to the About WordPress section. So the first thing here is the WordPress About Us page, where WordPress will tell you all the new features and updates that they have made to the current version we're using. So feel free to look at this in your own time. Now, WordPress is constantly getting updated by developers and it's always improving. So here's where you can see in what ways they're being improved. The next options we see here is how to get involved in the community of WordPress. We have the WordPress.org website. Here we have WordPress documentation, which can be interesting to know if you want to get deeper into WordPress. You also have the Learn WordPress option, where you can learn some additional WordPress tutorials for free and some lesson plans. You can also go to the support forum, and this is where you can type in a problem you may be having, and maybe someone else ran into the problem before. So if I type in Elementor here, for example, we can get the latest problems that people are facing with Elementor, okay? So this is just an additional resource that you guys can go to when you want to learn more about WordPress or you get stuck on a problem. But you also have YouTube tutorials. You also have online courses that you can take as well. So there are more options available, not just a support forum for you to get help in. As a beginner, you won't really use this as much, but the most important parts are documentation, learning WordPress, and the support forum. In this course, we're gonna go over a lot of what's shared in the WordPress tutorials, so feel free to just use that as an additional resource to this course. Next, we have this house symbol. So this house symbol is where you can navigate to the front end side of your website. So you'll see that the title of your website is going to be displayed here alongside the symbol, the house symbol. By clicking on the element or by hovering over it and clicking visit site, you'll be redirected to the front end of your website where you can see how it looks like this. To go to the back end side of your website, you just need to click on the WordPress logo. Something I want to make very apparent is that this is the back end, right? And when you go to the front end, you get the toolbar here. Now, when someone's visiting your website, they will not see this toolbar. They won't have access to this toolbar. So if I quickly just copy this here and I open a new browser, and I paste here, we can see that I've accessed the website live as a visitor and I do not see the admin toolbar. So you don't need to worry if someone's gonna come in and change your website. Okay, let's navigate back to the backend. Sometimes you might see a recycle symbol. That just means that you need to update your WordPress version. You can also get to the update section here by clicking on dashboard and updates. This is where you can see the current version of WordPress, what plugins and themes are installed, and if you want to install a new version of WordPress, you can click here to check again for any updates. This could be important if you run into a problem and you're troubleshooting with a support team. Some problems may arise depending on the WordPress version you could be using. Next, we have this speech bubble element, and this element is the comment section of your website. Now, this number here represents the number of comments that are pending approval. So by default, with a WordPress website, you'll have 0 pending comments to approve of. But if I click on it here, we'll actually be brought up to the comment section. And notice that WordPress by default gives us a sample comment that's already been approved of. You'll see that the number will change if I hover over here and I unapprove of the comment. You'll see that this now turns into 1, meaning you have some comments that you need to approve of. The reason you would want to approve comments is because sometimes malicious people can try to send spam to your website to look for vulnerabilities or send malware, or maybe they're promoting their content on our website. It could also be they've left an offensive statement or comment that you don't want to display publicly on your website. So WordPress gives us a chance to approve of these comments before it's displayed publicly. Comment sections can be an important part of your website because it allows your audience to interact with one another and lets you get feedback from others on a piece of content that you're sharing. It's also good for SEO, as Google likes to see websites with high engagement, and comments are a way of increasing engagement on a website. Next, we have the shortcuts element here. So this element allows you to quickly perform a lot of tasks that the left-hand menu lets you do, such as creating new posts, media, page, and user. I've already shown you that you can find these options on the left-hand menu, like here, add new post, media, page, and user. So it's really just a shortcut. Up here to your right is your user profile. If I click on this, I'll be directed to the edit profile menu. So if I click on that, I'm brought to the profile section. Now the user section focuses on changing or setting user permissions, as well as allows you to personalize WordPress depending on the user that's logged in. So I can change the color scheme, for example, if I wish to, but we'll devote a whole video discussing this section more in depth. You can also remove the top toolbar by going on this option here and clicking show toolbar when visiting site, and then updating your profile. And then if I go to the front end of the website, we can see that we don't see it anymore. But I recommend leaving it on because it's a really useful tool to navigate between the front end and the back end. So I'm gonna update my profile again and we'll see it. It should be brought back. There it is. Now that we've talked about the top menu bar, let's briefly talk about the work area.